Hi, everyone. Welcome, everyone, to CPGrow 25. I'm John Heberling, Senior Partnerships Manager at KickFurther, and I'm thrilled we're hosting this event for the second year in a row. It's incredible to see how much we've grown since last year. In 2024, we had over 400 applicants. This year, that number jumped to 698. And it's not just the competition that got bigger. The prizes, even better. Last year, we had one winner who walked away with $150,000 in no-cost inventory funding. This year, we have 5 finalists battling for a grand prize of $250,000 in no-cost inventory funding, plus some amazing extras from our sponsors. And that's not all. We've added a runner-up winner who will take home $75,000 in no-cost inventory funding, plus additional sponsor prizes as well. And let's not forget our Rising Brand winner. They'll be pitching too, getting valuable feedback from our incredible judges, and they've already scored $15,000 in no-cost inventory funding. Now, none of this would be possible without our partnering sponsors, so I would love to give them a shout out and a thank you. ShipBob, Sin7, Forecaster, Hawk Media, RangeMe, Ecom Engine, and Power to Pitch. We're so grateful for their support and partnership. Thank you again. Oh, and one more thing. Keep an eye on the chat throughout today. We'll be dropping some links in there, plus a couple of audience questions where you can win a $50 gift card and a $250 gift card. All right, let's get this started. To kick things off, I'll hand it over to the MC of this event and the CEO and founder of KickFurther, Sean DeClerc.
Awesome. Thanks very much, John. And thank you all for joining us for the second annual CPGrow event. I think we've got a great set of contestants and some awesome judges. So my name's Sean DeClerc. I'm the founder and CEO of KickFurther. I actually was running a product company like the entrepreneurs that are watching and pitching today. Nothing so cool is what we're going to see, just some really basic stuff. But we encountered the inventory finance problem that so many product companies struggle with ourselves. And so I went and we designed the solution that I wish had existed for my product business when I was running it over a decade ago now. So that was how KickFurther got started. We're excited. We've been able to support thousands of entrepreneurs in 10 years, having funded now over $300 million of inventory since we started this business. So it's been awesome. These events that John has organized are just a little way to give back to a community that's been so really wonderful for KickFurther. So happy to support the SMBs, and I'm very happy to be supported by the wonderful judges who we have here today. I'll let them give their own quick intros, but as a headline, we're joined by LaSpencer Walker, who's a director of Target Accelerators, Activation and Growth, Danielle Blount, who is a partner at Bold Ventures, and Josh Feeney, who is the general partner at Forma Capital. I'll hand it over to you guys if you want to give a quick intro for yourselves, and then we'll keep on with the show. So maybe we can start with LaSpencer.
Yes, thank you. Very excited for this. Hi, everyone. I'm Spencer Walker. As you mentioned, director at Target. Been there 15 years, but most of my time was spent, at least 8 of my years, of designing products. So this is near and dear to my heart. Designed furniture, wall decor, lighting, anything in the home, you can name it. I've designed it for Target, but then moved into a strategic position around brand management, which then found my way into supporting small, diverse, emerging brands through the Target Accelerators teams and leading a team currently to support you on shelf, but also guide you on your path, whether it's 101, 201, mentorship, pointing in the right direction, creating a community that supports you to drive growth on shelf, but then keep you on shelf. I think that's the biggest piece here. Personally, I live in Minneapolis. Go Loons, soccer team here, and my family of 5, we enjoy a lot of time being outside, and the weather's getting nice here. But essentially, they help me, and they're the reasons I do what I do. And so I'm a purpose-driven leader and purpose-driven person in this field. So hopefully everybody else has a purpose out there, and you keep on driving towards it. So excited for this event.
Awesome. Thank you, LaSpencer. If I can ask a question, so for people in our audience to self-identify, what might be some characteristics of people that should reach out to Target Accelerators?
Yes, we do the whole gamut. If you're starting your business early, we call it, pre-Kickstarter area. Our Forward Founders group, we harness that, and then all the way up to about to launch on shelf, and then when you're on shelf. And so we are reaching out via our supplier intake form. You fill it out. It helps us see where you are on your journey, identifying your capabilities, helps us understand what tools and resources we should offer you. So by the time, if you're not on shelf, you can talk to a buyer, and we have all the resources to provide you with what you need to do. Or if you're already on shelf at Target, then we identify you as a partner in our portfolio. So it's everything from not on shelf to already on shelf. So, like I said, here to be a resource. That's what we're here for.
Awesome. Thanks, LaSpencer. And John has dropped the link to that supplier intake form into the chat for everybody here. So check it out, folks. Thank you. Next, we have Danielle Blount, partner at Bold Ventures. Danielle, you want to give a quick intro?
Thanks, Sean. Hi, everyone. I'm Danielle Blount. I'm a partner at Bold Ventures. We're a regionally focused fund on seed to seed plus companies, primarily in Ohio, New York, and Pennsylvania. That includes CPG companies. So we are invested in one so far, I will say. We are actively deploying capital. So I'm excited to meet new companies today and see how we can be supportive. Like LaSpencer, I started my career really supporting entrepreneurs from their earliest one, from idea to commercialization. And personally, born and raised in Buffalo, New York, so go Bills. And excited for everyone today. So good luck to all the contestants, and thank you, because I got to test out a bunch of the products this morning. So everything has been awesome.
Awesome. Thanks, Danielle. So pre-seed, seed, early growth. So even pre-revenue companies could apply?
Ideally, sort of seed to seed plus. So companies that have about $250,000 in revenue, sometimes that skews a little bit higher for CPG. But we are open to having conversations early, so I think it's a bit like dating. You got to get to know someone before you invest in them.
Absolutely. Awesome. Thank you, Danielle. And last but not least, we have Josh Feeney, general partner at Forma Capital. Josh?
Thanks, Sean. Josh Finey, born and raised Buffalo, New York. And it's all right, Sean, don't worry about it. I'm a founder and general partner of Forma Capital, as well as the Cashmere Fund. For those who don't know the Cashmere Fund, it's really the kind of first public alt investment fund that is out there right now in the public markets. 35 current investments ranging across consumer products, brands, health, wellness, beauty, 4 fund-to-fund investments in there. Forma Capital Fund is really around those same principles. Really kind of first check post-revenue, 7 investments in that portfolio, health, wellness, beauty, with heavy influence. Much like Danielle, go Bills, my general partner on both my funds is Josh Allen. So as we start to look at our deployment, we are across the board, across the country. I come out of the CP world, was an executive at New Era Cap. So, seeing the CP world from all angles. Super excited to be here today. Thank you to all the contestants who provided us product. My kids were ravaging through the boxes this morning, so it was awesome. So look forward to hearing more about the pitches, but thank you for having me.
Thank you, Josh. Apologize for that. So not like Boy Meets World, and I will note that into the future. All right, awesome. So we have some really excellent candidates here today to pitch. I don't want to take up too much of their time, and I'm sure that they will do a much better job of explaining their businesses, their products, and their go-to-market strategy than I could possibly hope to do. So without further ado, we're going to kick this off. We have our first presenter joining us shortly, Pallavi Pandey, the owner and founder of Detox. So Pallavi, please join us and take it away whenever you're ready.
All right, thank you for having me. And looks like I'm ready. All right, thanks. All right. Oops. Imagine hosting an event where every plate, every bowl, every spoon, every straw tells you a story on the table, a story of sustainability, usability, and community. Now imagine doing that without harming people, planet, and parties. That is the future Detox is creating. Hi, I'm Pallavi Pandey, owner and founder of Detox Palm Leaf Tableware brand from Portland, Oregon. A fun fact, the meaning of my name, Pallavi, in Hindi, which comes from India, means leaf. Now, growing up in India, I'd use banana leaves to eat my food on. I miss my culture of dining on leaves. With 10 years of experience in logistics and inspiration from my Indian culture of eating on leaves, I started a brand called Detox, echoing with the meaning, cleansing journey, but with palm leaves, to save people from the soggy world of cheap paper, toxic plastics, expensive bamboos, and boring heavy chinaware, to give them the convenience of hosting with the classy look of their tableware made from palm leaves without the landfill impact. Now, 960,000 metric tons of single-use waste is generated in parties in 1 year in US, according to BBC. Now, this is equivalent to the weight of 150,000 elephants. The elephant in the room is the landfill problem, and it is time we address it and kick it further. Now, you want to address it with a mom who's party loving, because I have made a promise to offer convenience of hosting without the guilt of single-use waste. Detox is 100% eco-friendly, single-use palm leaf tableware solution and patented straws that stay in liquids for up to 6 hours. Now, in the last 6 years, Detox has had tangible impact on the communities and on the environment. We've eliminated single-use disposables that are approximately 10 million units, which is, to give you a perspective, 30 Eiffel Towers, sponsored education scholarships, and sewing machines for underrepresented communities in India and Oregon, pledged donations to local initiatives like Greater Than Portland, which is a nonprofit here in Oregon. We are a profitable, positive cash flow, 7-figure brand with a list of 5,000 customers. We've had over $100,000 in grants and pitch competitions. We've expanded in Canada, experiencing 20x growth in 2024. Now, what started as a personal frustration with wasteful single-use products at events turned into a mission-driven business that blends sustainability with style. Our business generates revenue streams by operating as direct-to-consumer and B2B, which is a business model serving 30 to 60-year-old direct consumers, charcuterie makers, caterers, chefs, event planners, restaurants, and the retail consumers across US and Canada. With a market potential of $35 billion industry in the United States, we are targeting 0.5% of this market share, which is $25 million target for my bootstrap brand in the next 3 years. Now, what makes Detox unique and stand out? The aesthetics of our products, they don't feel like cheap disposables, making them perfect for upscale events with a premium shape and quality. And just an insider tip, people hate throwing us stuff, so they would carry it in their bags after the events and give it to their pets to chew on. Now, we are a brand that is diverse supplier with a diverse supply certification at the county, state, and federal levels for contracting and food service. Unlike paper and plastic straws, Detox offers patented straws that last in 6 hours in liquids and decompose in 90 days. Unlike competition, Detox is using 100% compostable wraps on the packaging of our products, which makes it a better choice. Our next growth phase, it includes increased market share in Amazon globally in countries like Europe, Japan, Mexico, and Dubai, scaling into retail and grocery stores like Target, Whole Foods, Costco, targeting wholesale partnerships in food service to large-scale caterers and event venues, partnering with hospitality groups to grow our sales in the beverage industry for our straws. Investing in Detox is a smart move because these funds will help us grow in these 2 ways. We will use the funds in inventory funding to scale production to meet the rising demand for our products as we focus on expansion in Canada and launch in Dubai. Marketing and brand awareness to invest in my monthly ad spend of $10,000 on Amazon, generating 10x revenue. Detox has been a dynamic team led by a passionate mompreneur. Thank you. And now I'm open to question and answers.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Pallavi. So judges, if you don't mind raising your hand or doing some reaction, I will call on you. We keep this organized for the Q&A. So LaSpencer, you just came off mute. Go ahead.
All right, great job. Very excited. I was holding the plate while you were talking, sturdy, everything you said. The one piece or question I have, you were very clear on what you plan to do with the funds. Do you have a marketing plan in place? Because you mentioned parties. I didn't see a lot of party feel vibes, because how are you going to take the market share from those who are already in party, replacing it with this amazing product?
That is a great question. So we always like to, in our growth strategy or marketing, we always say we're not for everybody, we're not for all the time, but we're very niche based. So for example, our growth plan looks like partnering with nonprofits, organizations, corporations where they don't want to need not necessarily rent Chinaware, nor do they want to have a cheap paper and plastic on the table. So that's how we become the sweet spot for larger corporations to grow. When it comes to homes, we say we are maybe perhaps when you're trying to host a Super Bowl game or have a picnic, or if you're a camping enthusiast and you don't want to carry your Chinaware so that you have to now look for a river to wash it or look for a trash bag to fill it up with landfill. So these are some of the ways where we want to partner and grow and market ourselves with a very niche base. And we understand parties can be something happening every day, but we can go beyond the parties. We can go to your, let's say if you live in a New York tight apartment where you don't have a dishwasher, perhaps you want to use something that's intentional, that's made where you can be giving a damp to the environment and still not having to throw it something in the trash can.
Awesome. Thanks you, Pallavi. Josh and Danielle both came off mute. I think I saw Josh come off mute first, so we'll go by that. And then Danielle, you're next.
Go, Danielle.
Okay, thanks, Josh. I had the same question as someone in the audience. How does your cost compare to plastic ware, or is it equivalent?
Great question. So if you
Or paper,
compare,
I guess too.
sure, I will give you the both analogies here. So if you compare our tableware to paper, for example, if you're a Costco shopper, those brands that are there, paper or plastics, right now they are priced at a 12 cents per piece pricing. Even at the dollar store, it's like $1.25 gets you 8 plates. That breaks down to 12 cents. If you add an extra 15 cents to it, you can get our products, which are microwave safe, compostable in 90 days, look classy for 25 cents. And when you do wholesale with us, whether you're a hospitality or a venue or a food business, the pricings come down based on volumes. So we've got customers who would buy 500 plates versus 50,000 plates in a month, and the pricings vary with volumes.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Nice. Thank you. Josh, go ahead.
I'm going to go a little bit off of what Spencer said, but maybe in a bit of a different path is, obviously with your marketing plan and the growth trajectory, how does this play with one, your capacity right now from a production standpoint, but also your heavy DTC today as you grow into wholesale? What does that look like? And are you set up to fulfill those, that demand and obligation?
Yes, thank you for bringing that question. So I want to take you to the sales breakdown. We heavily right now sell direct to consumers. That is 65% of our revenue. And we're trying to grow our wholesale market share because again, the profit margins are better. There are more chances of retaining those business customers, especially when we are known to providing premium products, premium quality, and that extreme customer service, which is one-on-one. Like, I need this overnight, I got you. You have an event planned. So how we trying to market ourselves or have the capacities right now, we are selling in 2 countries. We have 3 vendors, contracting manufacturing vendors. We have a lineup of other vendors in other countries as well, so that when we have to increase the production, we can do that. So for right now, let's say if we're getting 12 containers in a year, we have the capacity to manufacture in Vietnam and Thailand and other countries to increase that capacity. And then we can sell it. Like I said, we plan to have Amazon Dubai by the end of this fall. We plan to go live on Amazon Europe and Japan next year.
Follow up, Josh.
One last question, sorry. Are there different profit margins depending on the shape or size or quantity of what you're distributing? Sorry, I'm just looking at your site over here on this side.
Yeah. So the profit margins actually, I'll tell you what makes or breaks the profit margin. So when we are manufacturing the leaf, The quality of the leaf is what defines your profit margin. We use the premium quality of the leaf. So there's tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. Tier 3, very thin, breaks very fast, versus tier 1, which is a premium quality, doesn't break very fast, it's very thick. So because we serve in the premium leaf quality, the profit margin has a range, and yes, it has a chance to, we have a chance to increase the profit margin when we work with tier 3 material, which could be possibly for trade shows. So we have a different plan of strategy, because in trade shows, when there are the food businesses putting their sauce or jams or whatever on our tableware to sample and display, they're literally tossing it in the trash can in 5 seconds. So that could be one scenario when the profitability or the profit margins could be impacted. But otherwise, we have a general range of our profit margins, anywhere between 18% to 25%. And right now we're at a net 20%. I hope that
Awesome.
that answered.
I think so. Good. Awesome. Thank you, Pallavi. If there are any other final questions, we've got just a couple minutes here. Otherwise, looks like we had a nice complete presentation here. All right, great job, Pallavi. Thank you very much. I really like how you were very thoughtful with the brand and your vision all the way through to the packaging. Wonderful stuff here. So good job. We are moving on. We are on schedule here. Next, we are joined by our second finalist, which is Ryan Lane, the co-founder of FTL. Ryan, thanks for joining us. Take it away.
Thanks, everybody. Share my screen, confirming that the pitch is showing.
Looks good.
Perfect. All righty. Well, Spencer, Josh, Danielle, and the Kick Further team, thanks so much for having us and giving us the opportunity to pitch FTL for CPGrow. My name is Ryan Lane. I'm one of the co-founders alongside Xander Chase. We are lifelong friends and entrepreneurs who set out 5 years ago to solve a problem that we found ourselves facing every single day, along with so many people around us. What was the problem? It was simple. We were carrying multiple bags every single day. We'd wake up, set out to have a great day, starting early in the gym, going from the gym to the office to a social event or client dinner, or traveling for business or for leisure, and found ourselves carrying multiple bags. Gym bags, garment bags, briefcases, and more. These bags are burdensome, they looked unprofessional, they couldn't seamlessly fit into the multiple settings throughout our day, and they lacked the functionality that we needed. So we set out to design the perfect bag and solve the problems ourselves, and we believe we did so with the FTL Original. The bag you see here is our hero product, one bag to serve you on the days you are most proud of, packed with functionality and unparalleled organization, including a garment bag, laptop sleeve, shoe compartment, and more, with an aesthetic that can fit an office, gym, or airport for business or leisure travel. One bag to replace the rest. In just a year, it's become very clear people love our product and our brand. If you look around, you can see FTLs in the hands of professional athletes across all major sports leagues, media personalities, musicians, corporate executives, and more. The people who literally travel professionally, all born out of an organic love for our product and brand with $0 in paid sponsorships. On top of this, we have an average rating of 4.9 out of 5 stars from thousands of customers around the world and a well below average industry return rate of 5%. Which is why we've been able to surpass $1 million in cumulative revenue and just recently eclipsed a $2 million run rate, all while being bootstrapped and facing major headwinds, the biggest of which been stockouts, constrained inventory, and access to capital. Not only this, but we've been able to do it profitably, making about $80 per bag sale. This breaks out into an AOV of $265, an average CAC of around $99, and fully loaded COGS of $88, leaving us 30% in contribution margin. However, we think there's ample room and low-hanging fruit to further increase that margin to 45% with continued optimization of our marketing funnel, brand awareness, which will come in time, and access to capital so we can scale greater. The luggage market is massive and not a winner takes all. FTL believes there is a $44 billion serviceable market to capitalize on. It's why recent entrants such as July and Baze have been able to come in and generate hundreds of millions of dollars of revenue in just their few years in operation. But FTL believes there is a major white space to capitalize on in the male-focused segment of this market. FTL will play in the functional and fashionable space with affordable luxury products. However, FTL will use a male-focused product as the tip of the spear before eventually growing into female products as well. It's become clear that people are choosing FTL not just because of our products, but because of our brand as well. FTL stands for the love. When people ask for the love of what, we say, that's up to you to decide. The mission of the brand is to celebrate great days, and FTL is empowering its customers with the products to achieve those. With just one hero product and 2 adjacent products, and despite the lack of access to inventory and capital, we've been able to get to this point fully bootstrapped. And with $250,000 in no-cost financing, it will allow us to continue growing our current products that have already seen significant product market fit. However, over the next few years, we plan to continue to growing into adjacent categories such as roller bags, backpacks, totes, and more, and have the systems and partners in place to do it effectively, ultimately growing to $45 million in sales by 2028. Additionally, to this point, we have invested heavily in just one sales channel, Meta, but plan to grow into an omni-channel brand, expanding into Google, Amazon, affiliate and influencer marketing, as well as B2B, where we've done about 10% of our revenue to date strictly organically and from inbounds. The one thing in our way right now is limited inventory due to access to capital. We are at an inflection point in our journey and want to do everything in our power to capitalize on the momentum and continue bringing FTL to the world. With $250,000, we'd be able to invest in nearly 3,000 bags, allowing us to scale at a pace that meets our demand. So please consider FTL for $250,000 in no-cost financing so we can continue to empower our consumers with products to unlock and celebrate their best days. For the love. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, great presentation, Ryan. Thank you for that, and congratulations on all the success to date. I'll say my takeaway, my 2 cents for whatever it's worth, is probably your COGS could get a lot better than the $8 savings that you showed. If you're with the type of growth that you have in your projections, I bet you've got even more margin can be earned by negotiating on the manufacturing side. But that's a future conversation, and I'm sure you'll get there. So. I will now hand it over to our wonderful panel of judges. Danielle, you're off mute first, so you're first to the Q&A.
Sure, thank you, because I think Josh and Spencer are going to have better questions than me, so I'll get mine in first. But awesome job, Ryan. The bag's really great. I think it's probably going to be a nice birthday gift for my cousin next month. Lives in the city and does a lot of the activities that you referenced. My question is, how can you focus on bringing down your CAC? It seems high. So, how does this money help support, increasing margin, but then what is sort of plan to bring down customer acquisition costs?
Yeah, absolutely. So right now we've been, like I said, investing primarily in Meta, which in itself, as you all know, is very competitive and saturated. However, we've still been able to achieve, 30% contribution margin with that being our primary sales channel. I think there's other areas where we can continue to invest in and bring down that CAC closer, like $50 to $60 would be a great target number for us. I think on one side of things, we have the organic traction. So the stuff we see in sports with other high profile people to continue elevating and bringing the brand to people, which I think in the long term is going to help bring down that CAC over the life. Right now, some people's first impression of FTL is an Instagram ad that they get. And while that's good, we'd much prefer it to be, they see it in the world of sports, or they see it in travel, or they see, high profile people doing it. Because we've been bootstrapped to date, we haven't had any VC capital or equity capital to go out and do a ton of aggressive seeding or a ton of major brand awareness marketing campaigns. But I think that stuff will come in time as we look to raise a little bit of VC money pre-seed and invest in those opportunities and hopefully bring the ecosystem up and CAC down.
Awesome. Maybe Josh has some connections to some other Joshes.
Yeah,
Sure.
Ryan, I know this space pretty well. So one, great presentation. It was great to hear. Where are these pieces being made right now? Where's your production facility?
Sure. So we produce at a factory in Shenzhen, China right now. It's obviously been extremely important and top of mind for us to navigate the tariffs currently. Xander and I, my co-founder, we were actually over there last year meeting with our partners, walking through the factory and also doing cost analysis. The owner that we've worked with for the last 3 years, they've already been in the process of building out a state-of-the-art factory in Vietnam, where we're moving production this year. But assuming, we'll still continue to navigate and the tariff landscape, we're also looking at options in the States as well.
And right now, are you primarily sold in the US exclusively?
Not exclusively, primarily, yes. We actually managed to stand up an international supply chain and sales distribution last year. We had success, which was great. We found product market fit and sold to many international customers and still do that. But we found without multiple international 3PLs, it just became very expensive. And we're kind of opening ourselves up for no reason. So we're happy we tested in those markets. We think there is a future for sure, but we're just holding on that for now.
Right.
Awesome.
There-
Spencer?
I was gonna say that there's an advantage and disadvantage of going third. You guys covered all the questions. My additional layer, as I heard you say, for the love, all I can think about is Bone Thugs and Harmony, For the Love of Money, and like that song, like marketing, using that. You don't have to give me any credit for that when you use it. But as we think about the love of money, thinking about the cost and the retail value, have you looked at your competitors in the fashion and function, or fashion meets function, and how you're going to drive that conversation and say this versus that? Personally, was it 4 or 5 Club? Like I've received their bags, and not at that price, but still function for me. How are you going to communicate the value for someone to not choose that one and choose this one?
Absolutely. Yeah, there's certainly competitors and people in the space with great products. We think where we stand out and can kind of justify our price point is, one, the quality and durability. We're using the highest caliber materials. We're using polyurethane, rubberized cotton, which is waterproof and durable. We're using YKK AquaGuard zippers. And on top of that, we really see it as such a versatile bag that it really packs 3 bags into one. And that's where we're kind of directing our marketing message now, in addition to travel. 1, it replaces your garment bag. 2, it replaces your briefcase. And 3, it replaces your gym bag. And I don't think there are many bags out there like this. And the reason we wanted to solve this problem that have that functionality along with the aesthetics that could fit a gym, an office, an airport. So kind of wrapping that and that being the value add is how we're going to continue to hammer home justifying our price.
Awesome. Josh?
Sorry, I had 2 questions, Ryan, real quick.
Yeah.
Is there any customization available to the bag from either, putting initials on, et cetera? And the second question I would ask is, have you started to dive in further into kind of the premium goods space or the promotional space for, gifting and things like that from a growth standpoint?
Absolutely. Yeah. The first question, I'm glad you answered. Would have loved to include it here, but ran out of time. But we have full customization and embroidery capabilities, ranging from everything from a simple monogram, initials, to full-blown complex logos. So from a D2C standpoint, customers at checkout can add personalization. We've got about a 30% attachment rate, which has helped drive up our AOV. But where we really see a meaningful needle mover is the custom logos in the B2B space. So much of our revenue has come from corporate gifts, golf charity events, sports teams, equipment managers, et cetera, who want to put their logo on the bag and do it in a high quality fashion, and then give that to their team or investors, et cetera. And then the second question, in terms of, I believe you said premium kind of gift giving, it's another area which we're excited to grow into, being on corporate gifting platforms and just being a mainstay. We do believe gift giving is such a great use case for us. People are constantly struggling with what gifts to get, and we think this fits a perfect bill. So we're going to continue trying to build into those platforms and distributing our product in those channels.
Awesome. Thank you, Ryan. Any other questions from the judges?
One last one.
Great job,
from the
Ryan. Oh, go ahead, Spencer.
From the mass retailer. Would you have ambitions for mass retail, knowing that it does feel more elevated, but to your point around 3 different bags in one, that'd be a very value add for all the people who could touch it. So is mass retailer an option for you, or at least how do you plan to explore that?
Yeah, thank you. Another great question. And absolutely, I think it's something that down the road, and by down the road, in as soon as 2 to 3 years, we absolutely want to move into the retail space. We think it's a great needle mover, a great way to get our brand out there and credibility. Even so, if somebody does see it in a retail store and they don't buy immediately, they're going to be more familiar with our brand. But more so, we believe we have the margin to handle it, which is obviously, I think wholesale typically is like 50% taken. So we can fortunately afford that with the price point and COGS, and hopefully we'll continue to lower that. And absolutely, I think it depends on the fit of the retail space, but we have nothing against getting into the higher end department stores, mom and pops, et cetera, to continue getting it out into the world. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, great. Thank you very much, Ryan. Excellent presentation. Thanks for the great questions, judges. I think it's worthwhile to mention for all of our participants, please keep an eye on the chat because John is sharing links to all of the presenters, their social channels, their websites. If you want to buy their products, check out what they're talking about here at CPG Grow. I highly encourage you to go on through those links in the chat and check out the awesome products that we're seeing presented here today. Great. So now, without further ado, we are going to be moving into a spotlight for one of our wonderful sponsors that are helping to make this event every year a reality. So I would like to welcome Jeff Erickson, who is the head of strategic partnerships at Forecaster, to the stage right now to give a presentation and share a little bit about what Forecaster does and how they can be helpful to the audience we have here today. Jeff?
Sean, thanks so much. I have to say we love working with Kick Further. John and Molly are amazing. And I wanted to shout out the two founders. What an incredible presentations by both Pallavi and Ryan. So great job, you guys. Little background on me. I am a founder myself. I started a consumer products company probably about almost 20 years ago. Ran it for 10 years, sold it to a private equity group, and that enabled me to start angel investing. And what led me to Forecaster, where it was when I was angel investing, I noticed that most of the founders had a really hard time with financial modeling. And so that's kind of where I stepped into Forecaster about 3 years ago as they started to get some traction. And Forecaster makes financial modeling easy for founders. So simple as that. Most founders, this is something they struggle with. They're not finance experts. I will say most investors are finance experts, and so there's kind of that gap. Forecaster helps you close that gap by making it simple to build your financial model in a software platform rather than in your Excel spreadsheets. Using software makes so much more sense because it takes all of your information out of your accounting system, so it can hook into your accounting systems, pull that information in, so as you're going to present to investors, you have all of the information there. And just 2 weeks ago, we launched Forecaster 2.0, which is really game changing. You can create custom dashboards here. So as you share your financial projections and the different metrics that matter for your business, they are all right there in front of you. It's something you can, as a founder, you can kind of get that reporting on a daily basis, and you're monitoring how your business is going as you're building it. So again, Forecaster makes financial modeling easy. We have a special partnership with Kick Further, where any of you that are part of CPGrow can get a free demo of the new Forecaster 2.0 solution and a 20% discount on your Forecaster subscription. We also assign you a dedicated financial analyst that can help you on a monthly basis, keep track of where you're going, how you're stacking up against your projections, do that variance analysis with you. But the software really makes that easy for you as a founder. One other thing I wanted to share, this has been something that I've seen the CEO of Forecaster is probably one of the best fundraisers I have seen out there. And I've seen a lot. He has created a fundraising playbook, and it's basically how to prepare for fundraising. And so I wanted to, if you want to click on this QR code, this is a free gift from Stephen, our CEO. Feel free to download this as a free reference. And I hope that's beneficial for all of you. Finally, feel free to connect with me if you guys have any questions or need some help on your financial projections or finance in general. There's my email address, and you can always connect with me on LinkedIn as well. But Sean, thank you so much for inviting us, and we're grateful to participate in CP Grow.
Awesome, Jeff. Thank you. I just grabbed the link for the fundraising playbook myself. Something we can all get sharper on, I think. And I can't say enough for all the entrepreneurs here how, it's like we see so many entrepreneurs, they're so passionate about their customers, they're so passionate about their product, but the world of finance and running a P&L and a balance sheet, it's just a totally different world, right? It's a totally different skill set, and having someone that can add that strength to your story and to make sure that you can navigate those conversations when you're meeting with investors is just so incredibly valuable. So thank you, Jeff and Forecaster, for all that you do for the market that we serve and our clients here.
Well, thank you, Sean. Really appreciate it.
Awesome. So we have a fun little audience participation thing right now. So for everybody in the audience, we just circulated a question in the chat. So if you'd like to participate, I think, will we send that QR code link to the participants? How are we going to get that out there? For Forecasters QR offer. All right, so that QR code, it'll go out, and we will share Jeff's email as well at Forecaster. Jeff, you might get a whole bunch of emails. And yeah, there it is. And yeah, so we just put out a question for the audience. If you'd like to participate, we'd love to have your feedback. Please go ahead, answer that question that's in the chat, and you will be entered into a drawing to win a $50 gift card to the runner-ups web store. So you'll get to buy $50 of credit for whoever the runner-ups products are. So answer that question in chat, and while you're taking a minute to kind of digest that question, get some responses in, I will take that time to welcome our next presenter, who is our Rising Brand winner. We have Peter Lee, who is the founder and CEO of Koba Coffee. He just won already $15,000 in no-cost inventory funding and the Ecom Engine tool for free for a year. Congratulations, Peter, and please tell us about Koba.
Hello. My name is Peter Lee. I just crushed 3 of these bars, and here we go. I am so excited to be able to kick further about my product today. Thank you for having me as the Rising Brand winner. And here's a little bit about my background. You can see here, I'm kind of the real deal. I started this company from sourcing coffee in Ecuador, building my own first hand-built roaster, and then where I made my iteration of our Koba bars. I literally cut up the foil and hand wrapped each of these bars when we started, and then we've grown ever since. We've grown ever since and taken this bar to a lot of places like the top of Mount Everest. We fueled the team an expedition that got to the summit and came down very safely, giving them the energy they need to finish this behemoth of a climb. Now, here's the problem with chocolate today. When you walk through the chocolate aisle, you're going to see a lot of things like percentages, flavors, a little bit like country names, and you're going to see like 89% cocoa's this, and to be honest, they're quite indulgent. You see like a sweet and sour cheesecake raspberry flavor, and that actually sounds pretty good. But it is kind of an indulgent, desserty flavor and pretty antiquated, and hasn't really been thought and changed. And so here at Koba, what I've done is I've looked at specialty coffee for many years, and I've seen that it's been growing at almost 12%. And in over a decade, it'll more than double. While chocolate kind of percentage-wise has been hovering in the kind of like the inflationary rate. Younger consumers are the ones that are driving this premium coffee desires. And the US market has just been seeing a massive growth in specialty coffee. So here at Koba, what I've done is I've combined the two, substituting the cocoa for the coffee and tea. And we brought up these 4 flavors. Each bar is inspired by the customers that always frequent the third wave coffee shops. You could think like Blue Bottle, the Stumptown. And we've zeroed in on the customers who may never walk through that chocolate aisle by bringing these flavors that they love and they can repeatedly buy. So what happens when you bring ceremonial grade matcha from Kyoto, Japan, roasted matcha, aka hojicha, real masala chai from India, and of course our award-winning fair trade organic espresso, And when you bring these ingredients to the chocolate aisle, what happens? They sell out.
Hey,
We sold
Peter,
out
I
a
hate to
specialty.
interrupt, but the notes are showing and it's harder to see the images of your presentation. I don't know. That is
Oh,
way better. Thank you so much.
okay. So you saw my okay. You can see someone was scripted or someone wasn't, but thank you for the heads
They were
up.
good notes too, Peter, but I thought
Thank
someone
you.
should say something.
Still the good news stays the same. They sold out. We sold out at grocery stores. We sold out across our REI stores, and we've even expanded there. But more on this slide. So this slide is about our hustle being absolutely real. I built this roaster with $50 in my back pocket. I roasted my 5-pound beans. Then I traveled to South America, Tanzania, to bring back some of this coffee back. Launched our company on Kickstarter just to see the proof of concept and went viral on there. And then we eventually expanded to the tea latte bars that we just exhibited and some coffee concentrates as well. We expanded into REI, and I might add, in REI, we went from, in 6 months, we went from 10 stores to 35 stores. Kind of unheard of in this space to grow that quickly within a major retailer like that. As well as I will also just put in some good news out there that this is month 4 on Amazon, and we just broke even. So really good traction there. And I think that's supported by some amazing founders and some amazing advisors, leaders in the industry who have just really helped me since I was in my college days, in my dorm room days, making this chocolate out of our kitchens. We're also trusted by some accelerator programs and some major publications here, notably REI's Path Ahead Ventures program and the UC Launch program, as well as ICA, have all backed us and backed my story as really the solo founder who's trying to make it in this world of chocolate and coffee. We also got some publications as well. And I'll also note, when I mentioned solo founder, I really did mean it. All of these press points were hard-earned. They were hard-earned by me sending emails to writers, asking for a chance. And really the vision for all of this, I think the reason why I left my public accounting, corporate, very secure accounting job and jumped into this is because the vision for my company is to take on kind of the big boys in the energy space by bringing in easier ingredients, better for you ingredients, and giving healthier alternatives on the shelves. Especially in areas like convenience stores and some food deserts around the world. I think we can really give an alternative to what's already out there. So I hope that you'll join us in penetrating this massive $23 billion market using natural, better for you ingredients, simpler ingredients that come from nature. And I might add, we also do a big humanitarian push. I come from a little bit of a nonprofit background from high school to college, where we've helped build schools around the world. The Chai Bar, the profits from that help build schools we actually built our first school in the Philippines called Schools with No Walls. Yeah, and then so here's where you can enjoy some cold bars. If you want to be this person and safari, surfing, or even studying late night and having a chocolate with coffee in it, or maybe you might be this person running 135 miles through Death Valley, eating Koba bars to kind of get them to finish the race. You can scan these QR codes right here. One takes us to Amazon. We're still brain-spicking new. I'm trying to get to the 100th review. If you can leave us a review, that'd be great. And then as well as our Koba Coffee website as well.
Awesome. Great presentation. Thank you, Peter. Very good. Exciting products. I might order some myself. I think we could all use a boost sometimes. Okay, awesome. So I think we have some questions from our judges. Looks like LaSpencer came off mute.
Good job, Peter. You scared me at the beginning. I was like, what's wrong with him? What's going on? But that was good. That was good. Good theatrics. I appreciate that. The flavor is amazing. I think my favorite might be the matcha one. My question for you is, how do you plan to specifically use the funds? And I think I got a little bit of what you want to do with the funds, but as you think about expansion, maybe even tailoring it to mass retail, like what would be the first, second, third thing you would do if someone like Target or beyond was like, hey, we want to get this in our store? Like what's your tangible funding strategy?
Hey, yeah, Spencer, thank you for your question. I just want to also note, I've applied every year for your program 4 times in. I'm going to keep going, and I have no problem with that. So it's going to be my 5th year applying. Just to kind of think about so the question was around mass retail. What are we thinking about using what we've already won. We've actually won $15,000 from being a kind of the smaller brand coming up. Our revenues hover around 200,000, 250,000. This year will be about 350,000 this year. So the $15,000 that we can now reserve out of our COGS is going to go into brand building online. I think brands these days are built online and not so much in the retail stores themselves. That era's changed. We've dedicated a big portion of our money. If you go on our Instagram, you're going to see me talking about our whole travels through Tanzania, sourcing coffee. Like this is like late footage where I went to even Cuba to source coffee a little bit. You're going to see like content like that. And I'm really driving that home. We're still lean though. We're still lean. But now we're like leveraging TikTok Shop and influencers to kind of tell our story better and just kind of scale that as quickly as we can. 15 grand goes a long way online, especially even like if you do localized ads too within the stores we're in. So within each REI store, we run like a $5 ad within that store, then hits like 1,000 people. So that's where we're allocating some funds to grow faster.
Awesome. Josh, go ahead.
Peter, well done. Thank you. Glad you scared the hell out of us in the very beginning. A couple of questions for you. I'm very familiar with the coffee space as well as I would say the energy space. We've invested in a company called Matador with Danny Duncan, which I'm sure you're familiar with. You know, there's all this talk of synthetic espresso that's in these drinks and the importance of kind of going towards the healthy space. And we just saw what happened with Poppy this week and being purchased by PepsiCo. My question to you is as you look at this, your diversion into kind of that healthier marketplace of energy, I think is really critical in that health space, but also being small, how are you competing on the commodity prices right now of coffee, which have gone through the roof with everything kind of going over in Brazil, et cetera, with droughts? How do you combat that and stay competitive from a price point standpoint in the marketplace against these, you know, big behemoth companies that you're fighting against?
Yeah, Josh, thank you for the opportunity to share about my scrappiness here. First off, the first thing I did was I went directly to the farms. So I was in Tanzania last year, Ecuador and Peru the couple of years before, and I cut as much of the middleman as possible. Literally, my first batch was in my suitcases to save even like on the cost of that. So that's one thing. The second thing is we raised some money with REI's Path Ahead Venture program. And then we pre-purchased some of the inventory. So we secured the cocoa butter we needed for the next 2 years. Coffee is less impacted as much as cocoa right now. Cocoa butter prices have almost tripled since I started this company, but we maintained a really good margin. I think the way we do it is because, you know, the blue bottle cup of coffee is valued at $6, $7, and we're priced at $2.50. We still, even though we deliver like a smaller package, we deliver on the effectiveness of a cup of coffee or a cup of tea. So when we push that narrative, I think it gives us a little bit more space, to edge. But more importantly than that, we still maintained pretty good margins because of some of these little activities we do. Even now, we're still hitting like 40% margins when it goes from a wholesale perspective. It may shrink a little bit, but still hover between plus and minus 5%.
Nice. Great job getting ahead of some of that. Good planning. Danielle?
Yeah, great job. I was just trying the matcha earlier today. It's really good and the packaging's really nice. You know, how do you think about and plan for what stores you want to expand into, knowing that you're sort of in this better for me market and those partnerships are really important? Like REI makes a whole lot of sense to me because you're sort of people on the go that are hiking, you know, doing sports activities. Like that's a great pairing. So how do you think about strategically who you sort of go to next as your next brand partner or product partner?
Yeah. Well, I will say that we still have plenty of room to grow in REI. There's 190 stores and we're in 35 of them. Pretty good numbers still though. Like within 4 months, we had 4 repurchases, which is pretty almost unheard of for 10 stores. So we'll grow into the fitness arena. Like we have a family who do ultra marathons and all those work. So I'm always there preaching my company. So we're going to grow in the fitness arena, in the outdoor space. Adjacently, what we started testing is in some 7-Elevens in Las Vegas. We have some relationships with the distributor out there, and so we're seeing the numbers. Once we have enough velocity and we can prove that, then we'll go out and really just go straight into convenience stores. Meanwhile, you know, little plug for myself. I'm applying to the Target Accelerator program. and I know there is a lot of nurturing that gets us in front of buyers, and that may open up this channel here. Hell no, I'm not going to say no if this opportunity comes knocking. But also, we've also started exploring like what can we do in Whole Foods, what can we do with natural grocery. So we had a meeting with our local forager, kind of pushed us into the LEAP program, and then we'll see how we get there.
To build on
Awesome.
that, to your data that you receive, or let's say you go to another retailer, I always say good performance, good retail performance is good performance. So you do get another opportunity outside of Target, track that data. My question, how are you tracking your data today? And do you feel confident about mass retail exploration?
Yeah, great question. It's very grassroots. I visited every REI store that we're in, and the plan is for in 1 year to visit each store twice. And so when I go there, I see what's like. There's a very visual. It's just me most of the time. Maybe my wife comes because she likes REI too. But we'll kind of look at what's sold and what hasn't. And then we also know that among these 35 stores, this many bars were allocated there. So there's a lot of work that we do there. The only part that we are like working with an analyst on is probably it's not probably, we are working with the analyst on our website, rei.com, velocity. But food like chocolate doesn't sell, like it's like almost 10% of sales for CPG food on rei.com. So we're not so much focused on there. We're really just going through all stores right now. And it's enough. It's 35 stores is not too crazy. They're all mostly concentrated where I live in California. So it's pretty doable. I think when we start really breaking in, we'll probably look at some Nielsen data to try to see where our products are placed. But $4,000 is kind of a lot of money for me right now, and then that's like 8,000 chocolate bars I got to sell or something. It's just not really. I can't afford it right now. But once we grow, we'll probably grow. We use the funds for something like that.
Awesome. Thanks, Peter. It sounds like you've got a lot of exciting growth plans on the horizon. I hope the little bit of inventory funding will be helpful. And I hope as you continue to scale Koba, you keep Kick Further in mind to continue to support your success. So
Yeah.
thank you for the presentation. Congratulations as our rising brand winner. Everybody, I encourage you, check out the links, try some yummy chocolate coffee. All right, awesome. So that brings us to the halfway point in CPG Grow and the midway point in our finalists. We will be bringing up, it's very distracting looking at a giant video of myself. Next, we will be bringing up our third finalist, which is Dahlia Rizek, the CEO of Buckle Me Baby Coats. And an additional promo offer, which Dahlia will probably mention as well, is viewers today can get 20% off with the code KickFurther, 1 day only offer. So check out Buckle Me Baby Coats. Dahlia, thank you for joining us. Go ahead and take it away. If you're trying to speak, Dahlia, we don't hear anything. You might be muted. There we go.
Oh,
We can
can
hear
you
you
see
now.
me? Oh,
And we can
wonderful.
see you.
Wonderful, both. Okay. So do I need to start sharing my screen again? Or can you
Yep.
still see it?
Yeah, just we can see your screen now. Perfect.
Oh,
All right, so
okay,
we can see
wonderful.
you and we can see the deck. Perfect.
Sorry about that. All right. Before I get started, I wanted to ask by show of hands, how many of you have been personally victimized by a toddler this morning? Kids are rough, and as parents, we know to say no to obvious things like scissors, the stove, and the staircase, but no one warns us about the weird no's like no licking your brother's hair, or no drinking from the dog's water bowl, or the unexpected ones like no coats in the car seat, or oh no, not another blowout to clean up. I'm Dahlia Rizek, and it was the unexpected no's that led me to how I lost a battle, but I won a war. You see, the NHTSA and the American Academy of Pediatrics both recommend taking puffy coats off of kids in car seats. And as the first time I read all about it, Mom, I understood the statistics. The puffiness of the coat adds up to 4 inches of slack underneath the harness, and just 6 millimeters of extra forward movement, the size of a pencil eraser, results in critical brain, neck, and spine injuries. But my everyday reality was that my kid would lose it every single time I tried to put her coat on her. So one day I gave up and became one of the 65% of parents that leave coats on. But I hated the guilty feeling, and I really wasn't prepared to be defeated by my kid's winter coat. So I started thinking, what if the problem wasn't the rules? What if the problem was the coat? What if there was an easier, safer way? And that's how I invented Buckle Me Baby Coats, a coat that goes on at home and stays on safely in car seats. I pitched the idea to every coat manufacturer you could think of, and they all answered the same way. They didn't think coats needed a redesign, but watching parents go through what I went through, I knew that I needed to make something differently. So I came up with a better way and made them myself. Buckle Me Baby Coats opens along the side and shoulder seams so parents can keep the coat on and buckle their little ones safely at the same time. The coats are crash tested, loved by parents and child passenger safety technicians, and have been all over major media like Forbes, Rolling Stones, Good Morning America, and Shark Tank. We were also in Volvo. Buckle Me Baby Coats has been burning rubber, going from shipping out of my kitchen to shipping direct to consumer worldwide through a warehouse, and we've reached $1.2 million in sales last year. But here's the problem. While we hit the gas every winter, we have to slam on the brakes every other season since parents don't buy winter coats in the spring or summer. This creates an impossible cycle. The seasonality leads to limited cash flow, which means we can't order enough inventory to meet demand in season, which leads to stockouts when we need it most. Stockouts hurt sales, squeezing cash flow even more, and the cycle repeats itself year after year. So I started thinking, what are other ways I could help parents and zoom past the circle and make Buckle Me Baby Coats a year-round brand? Now, everyone knows that sleepless nights is the hardest part of caring for a newborn, but the second hardest part is blowouts. Blowouts aren't just a mess, they're a full-blown disaster, and any parent who's had to scrub a car seat or clean the crib at 2 a.m. or flip couch cushions to hide the evidence knows exactly what I mean. Blowout blocker pajamas have a special waterproof layer between 2 layers of bamboo in the back that stops the messes before they spread, which means no more scrambling to clean the car seat, crib, or your lap. They're made from soft, breathable bamboo, so babies stay cozy while parents stay sane. Parents love them, but it still only solves half my problem since I can't keep them in stock. I need a bridge, and I hope you'll help me build one. The $250,000 will help Buckle Me Baby Coats in 3 key ways. It will first help fund more coat inventory, reducing stockouts. Without stockouts, we would have had an extra $600,000 last Q4 without extra ad spend. It will also help fund blowout blocker pajamas, which will bring in an additional $450,000 of top-line revenue. And lastly, funding both of those things will free up cash on hand to fire my current web developer and hire a professional to improve CRO from 3 to 4 to 6%, which will bring in an additional $330,000 in top-line revenue, again, without increasing ad spend. At Buckle Me Baby Coats, we're not just selling coats or pajamas. We're giving parents peace of mind and less stress in their day-to-day. I'm sure you've had your share of battles with your kids. Unsafe coats in the car seat and clean up on aisle 2 shouldn't be one of them. So come hit the road with me and let's win the war together, because nothing's more important than the safety of every child in the car seat and parents' sanity. Oh, there we go.
Awesome. Thank you, Dahlia. Wonderful presentation. I have a 9-month-old. John has a new child as well, so this is definitely close to home for us here at Kick Further.
Yeah.
Josh Finey, you just came off mute. Go ahead.
Yeah, amazing. I'm a father of 3, so I've battled every single one of the things you just mentioned. The question actually that I have is, one, your product from a feel and touch standpoint is incredible. We had it delivered last night, so thank you for that. From a marketing standpoint, your name leads somebody to coats, but your pajamas, your other, half of your calendar year. Have you thought at all about what your marketing strategy can or can't be with and maybe a change or alter to your name so that it's more of a full offering
Yes.
from that standpoint?
So we just rebranded in January from Buckle Me Baby Coats to Buckle Me Baby, so that it's all encompassing. I did talk about the coats and the pajamas in this pitch because that's what I'm looking for the funding for. But we also have blankets, car seats, sleep sacks, blankets and car seat sleep sacks. So Buckle Me Baby more accurately describes the entire product line, where Buckle Me Baby Coats was just specific to the one product.
Awesome. Spencer?
Yeah, love the product. Great job as a product designer, engineer. Like you really beat people to the punch. Like as a
Thank you.
father of three living in Minnesota, it's really cold. This is amazing. So, my question is, how will you meet the demand from a style perspective, knowing that these are coats, these are things that are worn? I love your strategy for inventory, but also building a strategy for demand in terms of colorways, sizing. Have you thought about that as you think about expansion and scaling?
So the coats currently go from size 0 to size 12 years old. And the reason it goes all the way up to size 12, even though kids at that age are out of the car seat, is because the first year I was making the coats, I had a lot of parents reach out saying, this is great for kids in wheelchairs too, and we need help with that. So I expanded the line for adapt, so they can help with people that need the adaptive feature. Um, and in terms of colors, my colorways are somewhat limited, but I do change them from year to year so that parents have a different variety every year. I eventually want to hire a designer to help me make them a little bit cuter. They are a little bit plain, but they're plain intentionally because as a small direct to consumer product, I don't want to, you know how it is, I'm sure with Target, like you get something super funky and then nobody wants to buy it. And I have to be very careful about where I'm spending. But as it grows and I have a little bit more money for creativity and to hire a designer, I would love to hire someone to make it a little bit cuter.
I love that. And then to add on to that, as you think about the full branding, whether it's the jacket and the onesie, um, telling that story, like safety, how has that gone? Have you received feedback in telling that story?
Uh, well, so the pajamas, I talked about mostly how it helps keep parents sane because I had already described a lot about the safety position
Mhm.
of the coats and I only had 4 minutes. But the safety position works for the pajamas as well because right now what happens when when a child has a blowout in a car seat, they'll try to put puppy pads or pee pads underneath the child, which is not allowed by car seat manufacturers and actually extremely dangerous. So the applicability of the pajamas works in the car seat the same way as the coat. So it still falls under that same brand story. And that's the story that I tell on social media. Most of my videos go viral because people like to argue in the comments about children's safety and you name it. They're just arguing in my comments, but it drives sales. But so that's how we, manage that brand story. It kind of still matches.
Man,
Awesome. Danielle?
Yeah, thanks, Dahlia. Great presentation. And like Ryan, you sort of saved me on the gift front. My friend just had a newborn, so I was really happy to see all of the pink clothing. She had her first girl after 2 boys. So I was sending photos in our group chat. I was like, here's all the things she's getting. So really, and I'm with Josh, it's super comfortable, super like soft. I know my niece, my sister she doesn't wear a coat in the car for that exact reason. So super important problem. Um, I'm assuming I sort of know the answer based upon your last comment that people are arguing in the comments and it's driving sales. But are you mostly D2C right now? And then where do you see that growth if you move into stores or wholesaling split, or do you want to stay more sort of just your own direct to consumer selling?
So I would love to be in retail because retail is going to reach more parents faster than I can. I mean, my business is really, really mission driven. I have a whole additional business. I'm the director of Choices Counseling of Londonderry. My friend and I founded it together 18 years ago. I treat PTSD. I still do that. I'll always do that. I kind of fell into Buckle Me Baby Coats because the need was there and no one was doing it. So the goal is to reach as many parents as fast as possible. Certainly Target could reach people faster than I can reach people. Um, Ironically, I've been able to get into a ton of retail in Canada. So I'm in Snugglebugs and West Coast Kids, which are the two biggest retailers in Canada. And I haven't made as much headway here in the US, but I am EDI capable. I do have RFID, the ability to make things RFID capable as well. I'm ready. If the retailer is ready, shout out to me.
Awesome. Great questions. Thank you very much, Dahlia. Excellent presentation. I think that there is absolutely a need, and your story of seeing a problem and just solving it with your own grit and intuition is just a wonderful entrepreneurial story. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for the excellent presentation. We are moving on, unless there's any final questions from the judges here. All right, wonderful. All right, so next we will be joined by Adrian Walker, the founder of Blue Henry, as our fourth finalist. So we'll be bringing Adrian up shortly, and she can tell us about Blue Henry. Yep. All right, Adrian, welcome. You are unmuted, and there's the video. Awesome.
All good?
All good. You can go ahead, share your screen, and you're up.
Oh, the screen is not showing. Is that what you said? The screen is not showing?
We are not currently seeing the deck or the screen share at the moment, but we can see and hear you. Just came up. Perfect.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you very much for allowing me to present today. My name is Adrian Walker. I am the founder, owner, and operator of Blue Henry. We are a cocktail garnish company. And okay, there we go. We serve the fabulous bartender. As many of you have probably seen, the cocktail and mocktail industry has grown tremendously over the past few years. You are now seeing bartenders just as famous as chefs. They have their own TV shows now, just like Top Chef. You've now got Drink Masters on Netflix. This is our community. This is who we are serving. But that fabulous bartender is frustrated. They have to create elevated cocktails, but they have to create them very quickly. Uh, they know that elevating means takes a lot of time and resources on their part. But that's difficult to do when you also have to maintain high margins. Typically, bars are the highest margin place in a restaurant. Also, everyone is dealing with sustainability issues. Restaurants are responsible for about 10 million tons of the nation's food waste annually. And so we are founded to address these issues. Blue Henry has been doing our own food manufacturing for 7 years. We make all natural dehydrated fruits and glass rimming salts. Dehydrated fruits represents about 90% of our business. So most of what I'm going to talk about today is related to that. We've got a 9,500 square foot FDA registered facility. We just moved into that facility about 3 years ago and have since we've been there, we've been adding our equipment to be able to double our capacity. We offer retail, wholesale, and bulk offerings and do very well in terms of our ratings on Amazon and Fair. We've been featured in a variety of platforms listed there. So most simply, our solution to the problem of our fabulous bartender is convenience. Our dehydrated fruits allow them consistent quality. We professionally slice, time, and temperature control all of our products. We offer cost control. If you were to buy fruit in bulk, a restaurant, they're going to have fluctuation of price throughout the year. Using a product like Blue Henry allows them to have price stability throughout the year. Time savings. I don't know if any of you have tried to dry fruit at home, but it takes a long time. It can take you up to 24 hours. So we're offering them a couple clicks on a website in order to purchase our products rather than taking up time and space within their restaurants. And then lastly, we're environmentally friendly. There's no waste at the end of the shift. Those bartenders who have to slice fruit, typically at the end of the day, whatever's left over has to be trashed. Not necessary when you're using a dry fruit product that has a year shelf life. The dried fruit market is about 27 billion annually in just the United States market and grows at about 5% annually. It is dominated by what we call ingredient suppliers. So the fruit that you would see in a trail mix or a fruit mix bag, it's not very beautiful, as you can see. And that's not their intention. They just want to be able to provide you the dried fruit. In fact, we have companies who call themselves ugly fruit. We are the opposite of that. Our intent is to provide garnish, something beautiful, something that you can add that special touch with little effort to a cocktail. The crafting market of dried fruit is growing greatly. When we first joined Amazon, there were just two competitors. Now there are over a dozen. So this is our business model and how it has, specifically how it changed for us last year. We spent a lot of time working to develop our B2B businesses, both in bulk and wholesale. We got our largest client to date last year, but that came to us at a price. In order for us to meet the needs of our large new clients, that meant that we had to. Okay. So anyway, we're dealing with 45-day payment terms, and we've got to pay our fruit suppliers within 2 to 14 days. That's a cash flow issue. We need to rebalance with a rebalance marketing plan, and we think Kickfurther can help us with both. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Adrian. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. I think you're pitching to the right audience for fancy drinks here. Awesome. So now Q&A from our judges. If anybody wants to jump in, come off mute.
I'll kick
Danielle,
off.
go ahead.
Can you just, because I know we sort of got cut off a little bit at the end, can you sort of expand? I know the payment terms are a struggle, but the bulk orders, in the end may outweigh. Obviously, margins would be a little bit lower, but your goal to sort of go back to more B2C or D2C versus wholesale. Would just like to hear a little bit more about that, because I think that's a little bit reverse than we hear for a lot of products in their companies.
For sure. We actually have a very good margin on our B2C products. It's when we get into the work that we do for other retailers. So if we're doing co-packing, if we're working with subscription box companies, the amount of labor necessary to package in small means that we have a little bit less of a margin. So for us, it actually does make sense for us to try to do more of this direct to consumer, and also our bulk, where we have our greatest margins.
Mm-hmm. Thanks.
Nice, thanks. Well, Spencer.
Good job, Adrian. Yeah, amazing. I think I'm going to be one to look at ordering this for myself, but as we think about B2C and competitors, I know you said there's a lot of the ugly fruit, dried fruit option, but how do you plan to not only put your foot into the B2C market, but then continue to drive the repeat purchases? And if shelf life is a year, how do you plan to kind of continue to have people come back and buy more?
Yes, so we do typically see repeat purchases around 3 months. And quicker than that, obviously, if we're dealing with a restaurant group or our B2B sales on Amazon tend to be quicker than direct to consumer. As I mentioned, on Amazon, where we grew last year in our B2B sales meant that we weren't able to service as many customers and our inventory was much lower on Amazon. We lost last year about $300,000 in revenue last year because we weren't able to have the inventory that we wanted to on Amazon. With the facility upgrades that we've done and with the assistance of Kickfurther, we do believe we'll be able to bring back that lost market. We've got wonderful ratings. We do have repeat customers. We just didn't have the inventory. We believe that is definitely achievable for us.
Awesome. Thanks, Josh.
Adrian, really great stuff. Obviously, from a co-packing standpoint, you've recognized the margins just aren't as good as going with your own brand. So kudos to you. Couple questions regarding pricing and quantity for an order. Just looking at your website, looking at, I think, if you look at an order, let's say it goes up to $49, and I have no gauge at how much that would be in regard to what a bar would use or a store would use. What does that comparison kind of look like? And then the other question I'd ask is there partnership abilities with the spirits distributors into on-premise and et cetera that you guys could delve into to, obviously take a smaller margin, but get greater, growth and sales force out into the
Yeah.
marketplace, into your consumer. Just curious on what that growth strategy kind of looks like, because I'm sure you've looked at it like crazy. And I just want to know what kind of dog it is in your
Yes.
logo, please.
Oh, yeah, sure. All right, so there's 3 questions there. First one, direct to consumer, their average spend is somewhere around $19, which means they're buying a little bit more than one product. Okay. However, when we're selling to restaurants, the average sale for them is about $300. That's why we love bulk. um, your second question, oh, well, the dog question is very easy. So the dog actually was a Beagle mix. He was a rescue hound. And he's no longer with us, but he was the inspiration of the name and the dog. Um, Third question, can you remind me real quick?
Just your partnership with spirits
Ah.
distributors.
Yes. So we currently have a partnership with Cutwater. We actually have a co-branded product that you can purchase on their website. They have the convenient cocktail, right? And so ours is just that little touch that elevates it even more and just makes that party, that home entertaining experience beautiful. We also have some other partnerships planned for later this year where they'll just be adding like um, a miniature version of our packaging, hang it off of the side of a liquor bottle. We've also done some co-branded events with liquor companies. We love that. We don't have the deep pockets that they have. And so every time we're able to partner with them, we try and do it our best because it is a wonderful way for us to market to a much larger audience on somebody else's dime. So we love it. Yeah.
That makes a ton of sense. Awesome. Thank you, Adrian. Just for my own edification, I'm curious. I would imagine that you're pretty year-round company, right? Do you see much seasonality in your business?
We see the typical seasonality that most retailers see, where you have a little bit more in the holiday season. Obviously, to the retailers that we sell to, we'll see increased orders in the August, September time period.
Awesome. Okay, great. Super cool stuff. They look good enough to just eat, much less garnish my drinks with. But thank you for the presentation. Thank you, judges, for the excellent questions. And that brings us to our final finalist. Thank you, Adrian, who is going to be coming up to present shortly. We will be joined by Nikki Seaman, who is the founder and CEO of Freestyle Snacks. Last but not least, please welcome Nikki. Nikki, take it away. Thanks.
Great. Alrighty. Let me know if you guys can see my screen.
You're good.
Okay, awesome. Great. Well, I'm Nikki Seaman. I'm the founder of Freestyle Snacks, and I'm super excited to be telling you a bit more about Freestyle today and why olives. So at Freestyle Snacks, we are reimagining olives as we know them. We bring together really high quality, delicious, fresh olives from Greece with convenient and liquid-free packaging. We are adding innovation to what I like to call the trusty but dusty olive aisle and adding incremental value to the traditional jars and cans. We are convenient, flavorful, and healthy. So why olives is usually everyone's first question. It's a very niche category, and I kind of like that it's not sexy. I came up with the idea for freestyle snacks during the pandemic because I was used to getting my fancy olive fix at the olive bar. And when that went away, along with sharing, I was face to face with the lackluster olive aisle. After picking out a few products to try, I just really was disappointed with the taste, which I thought was bland and mushy and watery, and the inconvenience of the jars as well. I don't know about you guys, but I found myself eating the olives over my sink, losing a few olives down the drain along the way. And at that moment, I realized there had to be an easier and more enjoyable way to eat olives. Thus, I created Freestyle Snacks. And today we are transforming the way Americans enjoy olives, one pouch at a time. Finally, with Freestyle, we are innovation that delivers for olive lovers by olive lovers. We have uniquely fresh flavors, no artificial ingredients, really fun, bold, eye-catching packaging that stands out on shelf. All of our olives are hand-picked in Greece. Our pouches have palatable portions and they're pitted for ultimate poppable snacking, which is a tongue twister. There's no liquid, which I mentioned already, so that means no mess, and they're resealable as well to save for later. Since I started Freestyle Snacks 3 years ago, we've seen significant success. Based on my prior background, I was in CPG before working at Wisps, and that's where I really fell in love with it. And from the start, I had a really strong go-to-market strategy for Freestyle to focus on wholesale. So to date, we're in over 4,000 stores across the country. That'll be over 5,000 by the end of the year, partnering with some really incredible retailers like Whole Foods and Erewhon. And then, unlike some of the other olive brands in the trusty but dusty space, we really like to focus on that modern day olive lover. So what do I mean by that? We are investing in digital media, social media, and influencers. We're the best seller on Amazon in our category. We have over 10,000 customers on TikTok Shop, which we just launched in the last 3 months. We've had incredible features in Forbes and Food Network. We invest in social media, having several videos on TikTok go viral, amassing millions of views. And we also invest in influencers to really build up our brand awareness. Freestyle Snacks leads the olive snack category with rapid year-over-year growth. So you can see us versus some of our competitors in the space. We are leading in terms of dollar sales. And from a growth perspective, we have just really been on fire. So almost 700% year-over-year growth in units sold, while the olive category as a whole was down about 4%. We've seen really incredible growth in our ACV, showcasing our rapid success with other retailers. And we take pride in being incremental to the olive category as a whole, really focusing on that snacking use case. And quickly, why we need this funding so badly from Kickfurther. We just want to step on the gas with this growth by 1, enhancing the core, and 2, unlocking new growth engines. So we want to optimize our channel strategy, growing in grocery and accelerating the alt channel with some of these example partners below. And then we want to continue obsessing over our product to ensure we have the best tasting olives on the market. We also want to unlock new growth engines with innovation in other categories outside of olives and focus on customer-driven packaging to unlock new channels like club and mass. I know we have a little time to spare, but want to make sure we leave time for questions. And thanks everyone for listening a bit about our freestyle journey so far.
Awesome. Great job, Nikki. Thank you. Kept it to a nice tight 5. Didn't get to hear the ending music this time around. Looks like Spencer's ready to jump in with a question. Go ahead.
Great.
Yes, very exciting. Thank you for sharing. I want to first question is why I've never heard of this brand. I think that's one big thing for me. And 2, why am I dealing with liquid in my jars? So you just turned me on to that. I'm like, you're right. This is a problem. So the real question coming out of this is, I see you're in 4,000 plus stores. What is your biggest hurdle in terms of expansion in mass retail, and where's the disconnect with guests, or is there a disconnect with guests? I want to just dive deeper into what is not driving 8,000 stores.
Yeah, I think these are all really great questions. I was going to ask if you're an olive lover, but it sounds like you are by
Yes.
identifying with the pain point. Um, I think what is the kind of biggest challenge for us is really on the operational scaling piece of things. So we have 2 co-packers that we work with now. We're importing all of our olives from Greece, and just finding the right partners to be able to produce enough product is really what's limiting us from going out to some of these bigger retailers, just to make sure that we can deliver everything on time and in full. And then from a marketing perspective, I'm sad that you haven't heard of us yet, but hopefully, this is the first of many times. And we have really been pushing our brand awareness in 2 ways. One would be on TikTok, like I was mentioning, and then 2, focusing promotions within the 4 walls of a store. So promotions, shipper displays, secondary merchandising displays, and that's how we're hoping to, capture new people into the brand and make them aware of it.
I keep pushing on the no liquid in the pouch. I think that's the educational piece that may confuse people.
Yes. Yeah. So to that point too, a lot of folks haven't seen olives in this packaging format before. And so there is a bit of education around it. What we do to kind of mitigate that is merchandise typically in line in the olive aisle so that we're next to the jars and cans. And so people, that solves right away, okay, this is an olive product. And then we have different call outs on the bag as well to kind of mention the liquid free elements of it.
Awesome. Danielle?
I am not an olive lover. So my question is around, where does the future hold? Like, I think your branding allows for expansion into other products. I have seen artichokes like in a bag, very similar. I am an artichoke fan, so I have those. And I found them on Thrive Market, or else I don't think I would have found them. So what does product innovation look like towards expansion after you sort of perfect world, you own the olive market? What's next?
Yeah, and I'm sad you're not an olive lover, but we have converted many, many people to the dark green side with freestyle. So try your sample if you're feeling adventurous. But I would say, in more vague terms for our innovation, don't want to get into too many details. I don't know how many people are on this call, but we are planning to launch more into the pickled market. So I didn't have this in my deck, but the olive market size is about $1 billion, and pickled foods is more like $15 billion. So that's kind of the next horizon of where we're planning to go. And taking things that are traditionally doomed to cans and jars and really unleashing them into pouches without the liquid.
Awesome. Josh?
Thank you. Nikki, this is great. I was just about to ask the market size of the olive category. Very quickly, I need to go back to Spencer's question. So no liquid, what does shelf life look like, in your current packaging state? And I just want to hear the answer to that, and then I have another one for you.
Yeah, so in our bigger size packs, our shelf life's 18 months from production. And then in our single serve, it's 12 months.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
I don't know, Spencer, I'm still kind of trying to figure out how that works, but I'm getting it now. As a parent who struggles to make lunches every single day with peanut allergies and everything else that's going on, this alternative is incredible because usually we're grabbing a tin of olives, putting them in a plastic bag, and then figuring out how to, make it work. You showed a picture of a martini glass. And so your demographic and your marketplace is actually pretty significant in where you can go. Without getting and kind of pulling yourself too thin, is there one that you are trying to attack more than other? Or is it kind of how are you looking at it from a strategy standpoint?
In terms of target consumer.
Yeah, it started in terms of target consumer, and you can go into a whole restaurant hospitality space and fulfill that niche as well. I'm just curious because without getting too spread too thin.
Yeah, so on channel strategy, that is an interesting challenge, more of a strategic challenge to work through because olives are so versatile. Like you mentioned, we do a ton of partnerships with liquor and wine brands, and we work with liquor stores like Total Wine, but then we can also show up at colleges and universities or in kids' lunch boxes. And, we're in airport stores as well. We recently launched on Delta and their snack boxes as a travel snack. So I think that's something that I definitely work through is, what are the main channels we want to focus on? And what we've kind of narrowed it down to is grocery in that inline olive, pickles, pepper set. And then to kind of bolster that would be the alternative channel for both brand awareness and from a margin perspective. It's just a really strong margin because there's no trade spend for us. So that's where we're focused today and going forward.
Awesome. Thank you, Nikki. I have one question, if I'm allowed. Where does the name Freestyle Snacks come from?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm sure all founders can agree it's really difficult to land on a name for your company. But I loved freestyle because it kind of is twofold. You, as an olive lover, can now freestyle and enjoy your olives anytime and anywhere. But then I also liked thinking about the olives themselves, no longer kind of trapped in these jars, submerged in the brine, and they can kind of freestyle about in the pouch and move around and have that freedom as well.
Very cool. Thank you for that. Any other final questions from the judges? Oh, let's
No question, but now I just see some marketing plays here. Imagine like a dancing, like Olive freestyle dancing, or like doing some b-boy dancing. I don't know. You got some endless opportunity here.
Yeah.
snowboarding.
Totally
That too.
agree. We do have some olive dancing doodles that we'll use occasionally in our social media. So we'll have to bring them back.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Nikki. It was a great presentation, informative. I didn't even know that TikTok was still going on. I thought that they got banned. So apparently I'm not up to date on my social media news, but yeah, very good presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
And yeah, thank you for joining us. Check out freestylesnacking.com. The links are in the chat. So that concludes our panel of finalists that are presenting today for CPG Grow. At this point, the judges are going to retreat into a breakout room, deliberate a little bit, and come up with their final scoring. And while they do so, and they are deliberating, we are excited to introduce and welcome Ajoy Krishnamurthy, the CEO at Sin7, to the stage to give us a presentation and show us what Sin7 is about and how you can help our participants today. I hope I got that right.
You got it. Awesome. That was pretty impressive that you got my full name there, Sean. Thank you so much. You said presentation. I've got 82 slides in my deck. Do you want me to go through that? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Well, awesome. Great to be here. Amazing, amazing, I'm sure, presentations before this from all the finalists. I'll start by sharing my congratulations to the finalists. I know it's probably a journey to get here. Fantastic to see you're having success, and then good luck with the presentations. Or actually, it's already done. So good luck with the the scoring, I should say. Thanks, Kick Further, for the partnership. We appreciate the partnership here at Sin7. Sin7, I won't bore you with a lot of the details. I know it's only a couple of minutes, but we take care of a lot of the boring stuff from inventory management to order management, but we also help brands with demand forecasting and or soon to be released to Sin7 Pay, which brings the full cycle for any brands to be able to not only have a good handle on the inventory, but also have a good handle on the cash flow and the money coming in. We love what we do at Sin7. I want to say that we have a pretty fun culture. We enjoy what we do, and one of the reasons why we have a lot of fun is like working with amazing CPG brands. Brands that actually start in their kitchen and grow into being in everyone's kitchen. And it's super important to see that. We have seen many brands go through that transition over the years. I know recent Airwaves is all filled with Poppi being bought by Pepsi. At some point in time, in the long time ago, Poppi was a Sin7 customer. So there's definitely some legacy there. But we have helped many brands go through the journey and be successful and leverage our platform to be truly a differentiator. That's what we enjoy. That's why we love working with our Sin7 customers. There's more information. There's a URL somebody is supposed to pop up on the chat, but it's essentially sin7.com/cpgrow. Please do check it out. And then I see Pallavi posted a note that I see the Ohio State on the call. Yes, I am. Proud Buckeye, OHIO. With that, I'll give it back to you, Sean.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ajoy. So we do have the link is in the chat. Check out the getsin7.com/IMS-CPGrow. I always say CPG grow, but that's wrong. And this is so important, guys, planning your inventory, planning your demand. I mean, we've seen it so many times. You can go wrong either way. You underplan for demand or you overplan for demand, and those can create issues for any product entrepreneur. So definitely having this kind of support and having visibility into this stuff is I think just critical for ongoing CPG success. So thank you, Ajoy. Thank you for joining us today. And I encourage everybody here to check out the Sin7 promo that was just placed into the chat. All right, awesome. So we're going to give our judges a little bit more time to deliberate. I'll have the results here relatively soon. But in the meantime, for our audience, we have another little audience participation. We've put a question into the chat for you to review and to answer. And again, same thing or similar thing. If you provide an answer, we are going to randomly select one winner who will receive a $250 gift card to the grand prize winners store. So you'll be able to buy some $250 of whatever products from the grand prize, whoever wins the grand prize today. So fun little audience participation. It's a quick little 5-question survey. If you guys are happy to fill that out, we really appreciate it. All right. Okay, awesome. So we'll give people a second here. Yeah, we used to do last year we did these as gift cards, I think, to Amazon, and this year we're trying to do them as gift cards to actually the participating brands, which I think is like kind of a cool little twist on it all. So let me just double check here on our judges. And all right, welcome back, our judges. Thank you very much for the deliberation. It was a tough group this year. Just so many good presentations, so many exciting companies. It was a tight competition. So I want to say thank you to all of our judges, Spencer Walker, Danielle Blount, Josh Feeney. Really, thank you so much for coming on, supporting these businesses, asking the great questions, and being a resource to our finalists here and to the other CPG Grow participants as they continue the entrepreneurial journey of building their product businesses. I think we all know how challenging it can be, and I'm sure everyone here appreciates the support that you guys offer. So thank you very much. I have to shout out and thank our sponsors as well that make this competition possible. They make Kick Further possible. These partners have been just unbelievable, ongoing referral partners, and I think they do an excellent job of, we've always tried to create the best inventory funding solution for cash flow for product businesses, and they help us get that solution in front of the product businesses that can use it. And they also support events like this, and all of that makes for a really great set of partners and sponsors. So thank you to Ship Bob, Sin7, Forecaster, Hawk Media, Range Me, Power to Pitch, and Ecom Engine. For our finalists and others, there are neat little promos that are offered for all of those for our sponsors. So please check them out. They're all wonderful, and this wouldn't be possible without them. All right, guys, what you've all been waiting for. I'm not going to make you wait too much longer here. So we'll announce the first runner-up to the CP Grow competition, who won $75,000 in no-cost inventory funding, plus additional sponsor prizes, is Freestyle Snacks. Yay! Congratulations to Nikki and Freestyle Snacks. Hopefully the funding will be helpful in getting olives into everybody's mouths.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for the opportunity. I really appreciate it. It's awesome.
Awesome. We will work and we'll coordinate and we'll get that get this all set up in the coming days here. Thank you very much, Nikki. Without further ado, the final grand prize winner of $250,000 of no-cost inventory funding plus additional sponsor prizes is Dahlia with Buckle Me Baby. Congratulations, Dahlia. Congratulations, Buckle Me Baby.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you for the opportunity. And, everyone else who competed in this was amazing brands. I'm honored to be chosen and really excited to help so many more families with easy car seat safety, both through coats and pajamas with your help.
We love it. And what a great mission. Thank you, Dahlia. Thank you for joining today and the excellent presentations. Thank you to all of our finalists. I think we have some prizes, little sponsor things for you guys as well. I really appreciate the time, the effort that you put in here. I definitely know how challenging it is to pitch at these events. Been through a few myself. This was an incredible competition. A shout out to John Heberling, Kaylin, Molly, all of our partners that helped put this competition on, the sponsors, the team over here at Kickfurther, just wonderful. We had a few questions in the chat today about when we're doing this again. So we'll probably be opening up applications for CPGrow in the coming months. So pay attention to your emails. If you're here today, you probably will get that email. And stay tuned for more from Kickfurther, because this is something we love to do. We love to support entrepreneurs, and we are intent on bringing more of this to this audience, to this community, and doing more over time. So stay tuned with Kickfurther. Stay tuned with our awesome sponsors. And if there's anything that we can do, anything that Kickfurther can be helpful with, please do not hesitate to reach out. We appreciate all of you. And have an absolutely wonderful afternoon, everybody. Thanks. Bye.